eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.
Yes, they are. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. I'm excited. It's a beautiful day here in Texas. My second day here. I got in yesterday. And unfortunately, I've been, as I always do, I read the chat before we go live. A few of you were commenting on the cowboy hat and you liked the thumbnail. Thank you. I have to admit it is AI, but I wanted to have a hat for this stream, but I just haven't had time. I only got in late last night. Huge fuck around, by the way. Got massively screwed around with getting a rental car, but we're here. We figured it out, but I didn't have time to get a hat. So I got AI to make one for the thumbnail, and then after this stream, I'm going to go out and get one today, and then I'm going to go enjoy the fireworks here in Houston. There's going to be a big celebration. Keith Urban is playing, and a bunch of other musicians, and they've got fireworks, and it's going to be a great time. And I thought, why not? Because I'm going to be busy while I'm here in Texas. Hopefully I can get a couple of streams in, but I don't know. So I thought, why not just do a quick little touch base? It was originally going to be a members only stream. However, this I think I've done it correctly. I think non-members can watch this stream, but only members can participate. And the reason why I did that is because we're going to be playing a game, okay? I'm going to be testing your knowledge on the land of the free. Now, I can see I can see a few people in the chat here who I know are not American. Even some Aussies are here, which is crazy because it's like 3 a.m. back home. What are you doing, people? Go to bed. No, I appreciate you being here. But we're gonna do a bit of a game show. We haven't done one in a while, and we're doing it on a bit of a budget. Normally, I've got the soundboards. Normally, we've got timers and scoreboards. We're not going to have any of that today, unfortunately. But we are going to have some questions coming up, and it's basically going to be first one to get it right, and we're going to move on. But we'll save that for a little bit later in the show. I've been getting around to some of your food recommendations as well. I think tomorrow we're going to be trying some Texas barbecue, and then what's tomorrow? The 5th. Then the 6th, I go up to Dallas, where we're going to be doing the Stockyards Rodeo, Texas Rangers game. It's going to be great, man. I'm excited. 420 Breezy says, where's your cowboy hat, boots, and gun? Bro, like I said, I only just got here, man. I only just got here. All of those things are going to come very soon. Hopefully today, but we'll see. You guys will definitely see when I get a hat, whether I stream it or not. You'll definitely see a picture. That's for sure. Absolutely. John Bro says, welcome to Texas. I'm in Austin, the best state in the USA. Nowhere loves itself more than Texas. Not even New York City comes close. Thank you very much, dude. It's a pleasure to be here. Headgay, you little freak. Thank you for becoming a member. I love the name. KDL, welcome, you little weirdo. 420, we did that one. And Taz, you little freak. Thank you very much for becoming a member as well. Kat says it's only 2:30 a.m. here. Oh, well, that's fine. It's 2:30, not 3. Oh, that's fine. Keep staying up then. No problem. My apologies. Totally normal time to be awake. Absolutely. You're going to flunk so hard. I believe in you guys. So look, there's no scoreboard this time, by the way. So if anyone in the chat wants to try and keep track of the score, go ahead. But we're just going to be rolling these things out. 11 a.m. here. Perfect. Yeah, look, I thought as well it would be nice to do a stream a little bit earlier for, I think the Europeans have been, they've been doing it tough lately. They've been getting 3 a.m. streams for the last couple of months, I think. So here we go. This one's for you guys. And of course, the Americans. It's basically prime time all throughout America right now. How good. Toxic Fart says 1947. Did I win? Bro, you were just a little bit slow on that one. But thank you. Thank you for putting in an answer to the question. I'm busy fishing for a mount in World of Warcraft. Oh, my sweet, sweet World of Warcraft. It's been a while. Soon we will be together again. 1 a.m. in Perth. What's going on, Heather? Hope you're doing well. So I'm excited to do this because one, I just like playing games and seeing what your knowledge is like. But this is actually going to be like a learning experience for me because I've looked at some of these questions and some of them are easy. Some of them are, I would say they're difficult, but maybe they're not difficult if you're from here. But it's going to be great because I'm going to get to learn a whole bunch as well. I didn't realize that you guys I didn't realize the 4th of July was like a full weekend thing. There was fireworks going off last night, very late. And given that it wasn't the 4th of July, my first thought was someone's shooting up my house because it literally sounded like they were being let off at my window. No one was shooting up my house, though. It was just fireworks. And they were going from 9 p.m. until about 1 a.m. But I love the energy. I didn't realize it was like a whole weekend thing. So people were celebrating here on the 3rd. I don't know if it goes through to the 5th. I wouldn't be surprised though, because it's a Sunday. So, why not when it lands on a weekend like that? But it'll be like that for a while. That's cool. I like that. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? We're here for a good time. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So let's do it. Sadly, as well, the Aussies got knocked out of the World Cup yesterday in the goy ball. Very sad. Probably the deserved result, though. But I'm now supporting the USA. Okay, because why wouldn't I? Right? Why? Well, also kind of England as well, because I've always watched England as a kid. But while I'm here, though, I think I'm going to be supporting the USA. Why not? Might even throw out a cheeky USA when a goal gets scored. No one will. Once I've got my hat and boots on, no one will know any different. Huge shout out from Port Neches. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Huge shout out from Port Neches, Texas. Never miss your shows. So awesome to have you in Houston today. Hope you have an amazing time in Texas. Safe travels, Josh, from Lisa. Thank you very much, Lisa. That's very kind of you. And yeah, Texas feels a little bit different. I can't really put my finger on what it is yet, but it definitely feels different. I feel like the people that I've interacted with here have been more open to sort of just like shooting the shit a little bit and having like a bit of a meaningless conversation. I feel like when I was on the West Coast, people were a little bit more reserved, maybe. Yeah, I think I would say that. Here, people seem just more like down to just like chit chat. You've been on the West Coast kind of frequency. Does what I just explained resonate with anyone? Like people who have been through here and been through the West? Do you think that tracks, or am I getting a skewed experience here? Which I might be, by the way, because I feel like once people hear my accent, they become a little bit more interested and like ask where I'm from or what I'm doing. When I got my hair cut yesterday at the barber, and the whole barbershop basically paused and watched the extra time in the Argentina Cape Verde game, which was an amazing game of soccer or football, by the way, even for the neutral fan. Crazy game. But that was cool. Had a good chat with them. We went and got some. I got an excellent burrito last night as well from what was it called? Peter's Fajitas. That's what it was called. It was called Peter's Fajitas, and I got a burrito, and that was really, really good. So far, the Tex-Mex experience has been a big tick, big success. People are more chatty in the South for sure. Yeah, okay. I like that. I like that. Normally I'm not a huge fan of like it's weird, isn't it? Because I feel like back home, I'm generally like, not really as down to chit chat, but here obviously I am because I'm in tourist mode and I just want to like talk to people. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe it's just because like when we're home, we're more, I don't want to say depressed, but kind of. You know what I mean? Like you're just not as, everything's just a bit more like mundane and just kind of like, same shop, same shit. You know what I mean? But here, from my perspective, I'm way more interested in things. So it's probably just a totally subjective thing in some ways. John Anthony, Happy 4th of July, sir. Thank you very much. He says, so glad you're experiencing the 4th in the land of the free, Josh. I've had an amazing barbecue pulled pork in Houston. Check it out. Let me know where. Send me an email, message me, however you like, John. Probably don't put it in the live chat because I'll lose it. But if you've got a recommendation for me, I would love to go and check it out. And thank you very much for the big super chat as well. I'm sure that'll probably pay for my brisket. Thank you very much. Howdy, y'all. What's going on, Tamara? Nice to see you. We are a friendly state. You're from Texas as well. Sweet bee's knees. Depressed works. Yeah. Yeah. Is it just like a me thing? Is it an us thing? Or is it just like an everyone thing? You know, everyone's a bit more just flat in their own home state. Because that's the thing as well. It's like, and you know, I feel like I'm a prime example of this, is that, you know, everyone wants to leave wherever they are. Did anyone not feel like that? I feel like there is probably some people in the chat actually that are totally content and love living where they do. And that's all that must be a great feeling. But I feel like everyone is kind of like, man, you know, where I live, wherever that might be, sucks. And I want to go here, or I want to get out of here. But then people will come to where you live and be like, man, it's awesome here. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, the grass is always greener. You know, that's it, Krista. Yeah, you know it. I love Texas, but I want to see more. I mean, yeah, I think that there's nothing to be lost from traveling. I think there's only things to be gained. And I've always said, I said this the very first time I traveled, which was it wasn't the first time I traveled, but it was the first like big trip that I did with my best friend, which is in 2013. We did like a Europe trip for like 4 months. And I remember I was like 21. And I remember coming back from that, I was like, man, in like 4 months, it's like completely expanded like my perception, my awareness, how grateful I am for certain things that I used to take for granted. So I feel like traveling gives you something that like it's not really like tangible in the sense of like an education that you can like measure in grades, or, you know, you have a certificate for, but it definitely gives you something that is like super valuable to just like life experience. So I would highly recommend, and everyone should try and get out of their state to either see their own country or go to another country, even if it's just for like a week or two, just to, you know, get out and see how other people live. And I think it was in the last live stream, I was kind of praising America and Americans, and and some people, you know, love it, and some people are kind of like, you know, our country has so many problems, blah 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 blah, which I totally get. But I think when you travel, you sort of see that everywhere's got problems, right? And you sort of realize that maybe some of the things you thought were super bad, in the grand scheme of things, maybe they're not so bad. Maybe you're actually kind of lucky in some ways. And I've even had similar thoughts about myself. And Australia still has many problems, but you know, you see the world a bit, and you start to appreciate certain things a little bit more. Any tips for traveling solo? Sorry, who said that? Nightmare. Any tips on traveling solo? Depends on your age, I think. I would say if you're under 30, or maybe like under 29, go stay in hostels 100%. Like, it's so easy to meet people and make friends. If you're traveling solo, not in hostels, you've really got to make an effort in like going out to like places and like just speaking to people, whether it's like a gym, a bar, cafe, whatever. If you don't do that, you won't meet anyone. And maybe you're okay with that. Like, you know, I'm generally a pretty small circle person, so like I didn't need that as much. I've obviously got an online community as well. But if you were just solo, I would recommend, if you like company and you want to get to meet people, probably do at least some hostels. But if you're like 29 or older, you'll probably feel old in there. Take it from me. So when I was in Bali, you guys know I went over to Java to do the Gunung Padang megalithic site, the big pyramid that I did the video on. I stayed in a hostel in Java just because it was really cheap. And yeah, I felt old. I felt very old while I was there. Rusty, thank you very much for gifting a membership, sir. I appreciate you. Oh, and he's got his 12-month badge. Look at that. Happy 4th of July to American Weirdos, and thanks for the wild 12 months, Josh. My pleasure, Rusty. Thank you for this, all your support over the last 12 months. That's a long time, man. Thank you very much. And Boss Bitch JST, what a name. Thank you very much for becoming a member again. Appreciate you. Most Texans are talkers. No one's a stranger. Love the attempt at the accent. I'm telling my fiance you're in Houston and we would love to meet you. Look, my time here is pretty chockers right now. Chockers being full. Sorry. I don't. Do Americans know what chockers means? I don't know if I'll have time. Maybe in Austin I'll have a little bit more time. But I think this is like I said, this is why we're doing this today, because I don't know how much I'm going to be able to stream in the next week or two. But I'll try my best. No, shock ice. Shock ice, no, chockers. Chockers is short for chock. Wait. What is it actually short for? I'm just having, hang on. Wait, it's short for chock-a-block. And chock-a-block means like just packed full. Yeah. Chock full. Yeah, chock. I just had a complete brain meltdown then where I was like, wait, I don't even know what this word means. But I do. It's chock-a-block. Chock-a-block full. There we go. Thank you, Snail Burner. Yeah, we got there in the end. Chalkers sounds like a professional chalk drawer. Chalkers. No, chockers. Let me type it for you. There we go. You know how we just put an AS on everything? Like we call McDonald's Macca's AS or just an O. And you can basically turn any word into an Australian word. I think the eastern states are worse for it than where I'm from. Like we used to call like the train station the Traino. I've never heard anyone in Adelaide where I come from call it the Traino. But when I lived in Queensland, it was definitely the Traino. Chock full. Yeah, we got it. We figured it out. Menti B. Yeah, Menti B. That's not an Australian thing, is it? Is that an Australian thing, a Menti B? Surely not. I thought everyone knew what a Menti B is. Righto, that's the way, Larissa. Yep. No one would know you. No one would know that you're not Australian if you just walked in and said righto. Servo, yeah. Servo is a gas station. It's the heat in Queensland. It does make people go a little bit funny, doesn't it? It certainly does. Kelsey, yeehaw. Thank you very much. Lovely to see you as well, Kelsey. Hope you're doing well. Hydrocoptic Might says, can you do a watch of the MK Ultra hearings? I actually haven't watched it at all. If there's like a full, how long did it go for? I'm not, obviously not now, but I actually haven't watched it. And if maybe some people haven't watched it either, or if you'd like to watch me do a reaction to it, we could do that. If it's not crazy long, if it's like an hour and a half, we could maybe do it. But if it's like a long ass hearing thing, probably not. Hour and a half, I believe. Okay, that's probably doable. We could probably organize that for sure. We haven't really done any watch-alongs in a while, to be honest, and I have saved a few things for us to do. Again, it's just about kind of, fitting it all in, really. But the good thing about that is it means once we're back in and we're locked in, we're going to have so much content to get through. Doyden, don't do that, Jared. Don't start triggering vocal stims that get stuck in my mind for days. Yeah, it has been a minute. It certainly has. Oh, so okay, here's something we can talk about. I don't know if you guys saw Patrick. Oh, you guys probably know Patrick from Vetted was trying to do a debate with UAP Gerb, and it didn't happen. I think Gerb said no, and then Matt Ford, friend of the show, tried to well, he didn't really try to. He basically just like made a snarky comment to Patrick on X, and then Patrick challenged him to a debate, and then Matt Ford said no. So no one wants to debate Patrick, and then Patrick made a post about it, and then Ashton Forbes was basically like, "I'll debate you." So, and then Patrick said, "Okay." So so there might be a debate happening between Ashton Forbes and Patrick from Vetted, which I think would be extremely entertaining. And a part of me wants to say I'll be the mediator, but I also would like to just sit back with the popcorn and let the chaos unfold, because I think that would be really entertaining. You did hear some mini drama? Of course. It's X. Would it be X without people pointing fingers and accusing each other of things? What website is this if people aren't abusing each other on it? We didn't make social media for people to not abuse each other on it, right? That's what it's there for. Ashton will crush Patrick. Well, I'm interested to see how it goes, because I think what the debate is actually about is about Patrick basically thinks that it seems like he sort of thinks that the UFO legacy program doesn't exist. Or I don't know if he thinks it doesn't exist. I haven't spoken to him, but he sort of thinks that it's like this vague umbrella term that people just throw out. But it's like, he's basically saying, like, what does it even mean? Like, what is the UFO legacy program? And like, I get what he's kind of saying. Like, at the end of the day, it is all just talk. Like, there's no evidence. So I get it. But you could like apply that to the whole topic, right? Like you could, where are the evidence of how heaps of things? Like there's a lot of the topic is all hearsay, and Eric Burleson was just on Jesse Michaels, and I thought that was a great chat. I think Eric Burleson seems like a cool dude. Probably wouldn't have given him the disclosure award just yet. Okay, bit of disclosure first would have been good before we start giving out awards. But he seems like a good guy. And throughout that podcast, he kept reiterating the fact that like literally everything that he said, he would be like, "This is just what I've heard. I have no evidence." Like he said it about like basically everything he said. He was like, "This is just what I heard, by the way. Like, I don't know this. I'm just telling you what I've heard." And so, like I said ages ago, we're talking about the moon landing, which I think is the greatest example. If it was hoaxed, I think even the people in the mission control room thought it was real, and that like a hoax only needs to be like perfectly executed at the top of the pyramid to a few key people who then relay it down the pyramid, right? And as long as these people believe what they've been told, they're going to speak with conviction. They're going to be compelling. It's going to be, someone who's telling you the truth and really believes they're telling the truth. People feel that. And then once they start telling more people and they tell more people, it goes all the way down this pyramid. But at the very top, it could be bullshit. And I think maybe that's what his argument is kind of getting at, is that everyone's talking about the legacy program like it's real, but like who's actually been there, who's actually seen it? You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that I agree with him, but I can see his perspective. So I think it would be an interesting debate. What was that? Hydrocoptic Mike. Who thinks Trump will make the aliens are real speech this month, as many have predicted? Well, yeah, didn't I think it was Anna Paulina Luna came out and said like there's going to be an official speech or an official message coming from Trump like very soon. Dude, that'd be wild if he did it today on the 4th of July. Like it would kind of make sense, well, sort of in a way, to do something like big and groundbreaking. I don't know. Again, a whole lot of talk, and interesting as well. When Eric Burleson was asked about Trump being the disclosure president and all this kind of stuff, he was obviously giving him a resounding like rap. Like he's the guy. He is the transparency president. He's done. Yeah, and like he started listing off all the transparency we've had so far, and he said like everything, like MK Ultra, MLK, JFK, blah blah blah. And as he's listing them off, I was like, is this motherfucker gonna say the Epstein files? Because like, surely not. And then at the very end, he's like, and you know, it was kind of messy, but the Epstein files too. And it just made me think like, like transparency is one thing, and you know, you could even argue how much transparency we've really had with that. But it's like, what good is the transparency if we're talking about the Epstein files? What good is transparency if you kind of like are transparent about the fact that there are criminals in the government, but then you don't do anything about it? You just sort of like be like, hey, there's criminals in the government. Some of them might be pedophiles. Some of them might be consuming other humans. Maybe. But we're just being transparent about that, but we're not actually going to do anything about it. So it's like, yeah, okay, you were transparent, but nothing happened. And it doesn't seem like anything is going to happen. It seems like we just are going to go on like normal. So, you know, how valuable is disclosure? And so if we applied that to the UFO topic and they said, yep, we do have UFOs, we have exotic technology, aliens are real, but they never showed you an alien. They never gave you any of the technology. You never benefited from it. You never saw a UFO. You never see the technology. Nothing changes. Like, okay, you were transparent, but like you're still hiding things. Just like you haven't actually. You're basically just admitting that you've been hiding things. Like, I don't know if that's really like what people think about when they think about transparency. You know. Transparency through a keyhole lens, you get 10%. Yeah, well, if that. Illegal alien disclosure. Yeah. How about that aliens.gov thing, hey? It like that's kind of telling that either it's not really being taken seriously or people are actually trying to like mock the topic or discredit it. I don't know, but that whole kerfuffle was yeah, I think really took a bit of wind out of people's sails. I mean, my sails were already ripped, shredded, and torn. My ship is sinking. Um, so it didn't really affect me too much. I was kind of just like, yep, par for the course. Yep, just another one. But I think for a lot of people, they thought aliens.gov was going to be like the encyclopedia of the different Draco species that have been visiting us from the Orion constellation. That's what I think a lot of people thought it was going to be. Unfortunately not. You're just being dragged by the anchor at this point. No, look, I'm really not. And I know a lot of people think that I'm like negative or skeptical or whatever, which is sort of strange, like the way that it all turns and changes, right? Because I'm really not. If anything, I have like a wholehearted belief without even seeing proof that like, you know, that there is something here that is like interacting and influencing humanity in positive and negative ways. Like I believe that it's something that's like non-physical, or maybe it can be physical, interdimensional. I believe that wholeheartedly. The skepticism and the negativity comes from like the way it's handled in the public. It just seems like that seems weird and just something doesn't add up. And I think the biggest part of that for me is just still, and I've said this so many times, there's still really just been like no accountability, right? And so it's hard to believe it's hard to believe that that people responsible for covering something up, lying, discrediting people for 80 years have suddenly had a change of heart, and there's no explanation what that change of heart is, and there's no accountability for the last 80 years. It's just like suddenly you want to be transparent. That should even just ring alarm bells in itself, I think. And maybe it's not that simple. Maybe it's not. But like for me, I still just like don't trust the mainstream narrative yet. And I kind of hate saying that, to be honest. It sounds really like really like tinfoil hatty, but it's just the truth, unfortunately. Remember your sunscreen today, Josh? Your burn last week was cringy. That's the thing. My cheeks were really red, I know, but it wasn't actually like a bad burn. It was almost just like a little, little searing on the skin, but like it didn't hurt, it didn't blister, didn't peel. It was just pink cheeks. Don't know. I feel like maybe the sun's different out here. I'm used to the sun actually like burning the shit out of me back home. Whereas here it's not too bad. It's hot, but it's not like vicious, you know? Healthy dose of vitamin D. Yes, sir. Where's your cowboy hat? It's at Boot Barn. I'm going to go and pick it up today, actually. I didn't have time. So I guess I'll fill you in on my little kerfuffle yesterday. Booked a car like the day or two before and got to the airport, Houston airport, went to go pick it up. Already paid half of it. Okay. So it cost me $350. And then I had to pay another $350 when I arrived to pick up the car. So I get the shuttle bus down to the car rental place. And I was already uncomfortable renting through this car company, but it was the only one that had a pickup truck. And obviously I need to have a pickup truck when I'm in Texas. And the rental company was called Dollar Rental. I'd never heard of it before. And I didn't like the fact that it was called Dollar because it just felt, it just doesn't sound good, does it? It doesn't seem reliable, doesn't seem good quality. It feels tacky, right? Now, I'm normally not like a snob like that at all, but just something felt off. Dollar car rental. Anyway, get the shuttle bus to Dollar car rental and went to pick up my car. And the lady just goes, what did she say? She just basically went, I said, hey, I'm here to pick up like a truck that I rented yesterday. And she's like, we don't have it. We don't have it. I'm like, okay. Well, I've paid for it. I paid for half of it. And she's like, sorry, we don't have it. I was like, okay, well, that's fantastic because I'm here to pick it up. And I was like, so why do you not have it? Why could I rent it if you don't have one? And they're basically just like, you didn't rent through us. You didn't rent through us. So like you book on like Kayak, some kind of car rental company. Anyway, so I was like, okay. So she offered me like a smaller car, so like a smaller truck than I'd rented, and I was like, okay, whatever. It's not really what I wanted, but it's not worth the hassle. So then I'm like, yep, that's fine. I'll take it. And then she goes for me to pay the rest. Now, remember I said when I booked it, I paid $350 and I was meant to pay the next $350 the next day when I picked it up. She slides me a receipt for $1,050. I was like, that's like a little bit. And look, I know sometimes things can fluctuate, but that's a $700 difference. I was like, that's a little bit more. And then she's trying to explain why. And I was just like, look, this is a lot of money. It's way like, and I showed her what my thing said. I showed her that it said it was meant to be $350. And she's like, and I was like, look, I'm already accepting what I didn't order. And now I'm going to pay $700 more for something that I didn't even order. And then like she did try to help me out. She took a couple $100 off, whatever, scanned my cards, didn't work. So all this money is on hold. And then I was just like, you know what? No. And then she goes, oh, actually, I can't even give you this car. Someone else has got it. So they had like no trucks at all. So I had to get a shuttle bus. So I just said, all right, cancel it. Don't worry. I had to call the company I rented through to get that refunded. So that's like another, all this money's gone out of my account that I got to wait for it to come back now. Anyway, I got the shuttle bus back to the airport so I could get another shuttle bus to a different rental company. And then I finally got hooked up with, again, a small pickup truck. But I landed in Houston at like, I don't know, 1:30 p.m., 2 p.m. And I didn't leave the airport until about 6 p.m. And like, I mean, it's not the biggest deal, but it's annoying when you've got a massive backpack that's heavy and two big ass suitcases, like just lugging it off and on shuttle buses and shit. Like, oh my God. It was a bit of a hassle, but we're here now. And yeah, lesson learned, don't rent through Dollar. I mean, that should be obvious because it's called Dollar Rental. You should expect some kind of issue. But yeah, there you go. What did you end up getting? Chevy Colorado, Ford Ranger? No, it is a Nissan Frontier, Nissan Frontier. So it's just like a smaller pickup truck. They didn't have any of the big ones. They didn't have any of the big ones. I wanted to get like another GMC. I like my GMC. What is it? GMC Sierra. Yeah, I'm a fan. But they didn't have any. They said that because it's 4th of July, everyone wants a pickup truck. I was like, yeah, it makes sense. I'm pretty sure I got like the last one. Yeah, dollar. Yeah, dollar equal better bring extra because we're taking all of your dollars at Dollar Car Rental. Yeah, so I'm sorry this happens to you, man. Shit disappoints me. Oh, dude, it's not a big deal. It's you know, at the time it's frustrating and annoying, but you know, not the end of the world. We live to see another day. So originally I had rented with Turo, but the thing is with Turo. So and again, I rented a Tesla with Turo. I told you guys about this, right? I rented a Tesla. Was looking forward to it, but I had weird feelings because of the ad that this person was going to cancel on me, and they hadn't been replying to my messages. And yesterday or the day before, I messaged them. I'm like, hey, just confirming I'm coming to pick up your Tesla, blah, blah, blah. And they reply and they go, oh, nah, the car's not working anymore. I was like, okay, were you just going to wait for me to rock up to the car, or were you going to tell me, or just, you know, just waiting for me? Anyway, and I said, okay. Can you cancel the booking then, please? And they did straight away, thankfully. But, you know, took me to contact them to let me know that the booking for nearly $1,000 was, you know, not happening. But the thing is with Turo, you got to drop it off where you pick it up from. I've rented this car for a bit longer, and I'm going to be driving it from around Texas and then all the way to New Orleans. So kind of works out a little bit better because I was originally going to get a Greyhound bus, but yeah, I think I'd rather not. I think I'd just rather drive myself. It's more fun. Have a little bit more agency. I can stop off at Arby's or Denny's or Raising Cane's, you know, just a couple of American classics along the way. What's this, Josh? 3 a.m. from Oz? I know. Look, we're doing this on Freedom Time today because it is the 4th of July. And coming up soon, we are going to be testing your knowledge with some American general knowledge, a little bit of a quiz, bit of a game show. We're not going to be keeping score today. Normally, I would have timers up. We would have some Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music. We would have a scoreboard, but we don't have any of that today. It's just going to be a bit of fun, off the cuff. Whoever gets in first gets it. We'll start that pretty soon. Got to go to a Waffle House. Yeah, a few people have said that, Justin. Look, I'll do it, but I'm not sure if I'll like it. I'm not like it. Yeah, maybe ice cream and waffles could be good. I've seen like chicken and waffles is a thing here. I don't think I'm interested in trying that. Sorry. I just don't know if they should go together personally. But I could get around like, you know, waffles, ice cream, strawberries, and Nutella. That would probably be something I would go for. But I'm also not a huge like dessert. Well, no, that's a lie. I love dessert, but like massive plates. You know what I mean? Was just joking. Don't go to a Waffle House. I've actually had a lot of people tell me to go there though. Wait, is it Waffle or is it IHOP? I don't know. You guys that's another thing. You guys have so many things, like different chains and restaurants and places to eat. So many. I feel like in Australia, when it comes to chain restaurants, we really just have like the main fast food places like, you know, Burger King, McDonald's, KFC, Subway, Domino's. Like doesn't really expand much more. Zambrero's, like a Mexican place, doesn't really expand much more than that. You guys have heaps. There's no more American experience than Greyhound and Waffle House. Yeah, I've done Greyhounds in the past, but I think I might skip out on the American Greyhounds. One thing I have noticed driving around here as well is that, because obviously I don't know where I am, I'm just kind of like going wherever I need to go via whatever way my maps take me. And every now and then I've noticed like I'll turn a corner and then I'm like, oh shit, I'm on like Skid Row now. You know what I mean? It's like, it's very like sectioned off. Like you just turn a corner and just suddenly on this street, it's like lined with homeless people. And then you do like a couple of, you know, go a couple blocks and then you move out and you're like, oh, it's not Skid Row anymore. It's really like concentrated. You don't know where it's going to happen. But sometimes you just like roll in and you're like, oh shit. Waffle House is a must. Here, now your meal is on me. No risk. Thank you very much, Hydrocoptic Mike. I appreciate that, man. I'm going to have to do it now. Waffle House. All right. Thank you very much. Coley Ray with 17 months, man. That's a lot of months. Thank you, Nicole. I'm happy you're enjoying America. Glad I was able to catch a live with you in the Weirdo fam. Happy 4th, everyone. Yes, how good. I hope you're sticking around to test your knowledge on this beautiful country that you live in. We're going to be doing a little bit of trivia soon, American themed trivia. That's why I don't drive in cities. Yeah, I was a little, I think I told you guys I was a little bit apprehensive about driving here, but it's actually been no issue, except for the 2 times that I drove on the wrong side of the road. One time was towards a car coming the other way, but luckily there was multiple lanes. It's just so the way that it happened is I was driving and I missed a turn. I just missed a turn off, but very close, very close. There was another street that I could just do a U-turn in, right? And then it's in those moments of your brain just kind of slips. So I turned right, did the U-turn, and then obviously normally you would have to cut back across the road, get onto the other side, right? Because it was just there, I kind of just did the U-turn and then stayed in that left lane to try and get down. And in that time, a car came the other way. And, it is what it is. It is what it is. No one was injured. No one was harmed. You did that once over there? Yeah. It's weird. It's it's these little moments where you just kind of go on autopilot just for 2 seconds. And then it's bam, you're in the wrong lane. Happy 4th, my USA Weirdo friends. Love ya. Thank you very much, Paranormal Experience. Pleasure to be here. I love how into it people get here. In Australia, it's become a thing where you're kind of a racist if you support Australia on Australia Day, which is kind of sad. And again, I understand the argument against it. It's just not saying I necessarily I do understand it. Whether I agree with it or not doesn't really matter. But the point is, I think it's a shame how much we've kind of lost our day, like you guys have today. And it's an awesome day to just celebrate being American and all that. But we kind of don't really have that as much anymore. It used to be a huge thing. Like beach cricket, beers, listen to music, in the pool, have a party, whatever. Now it's kind of most people just kind of abandoned it because it's you're a racist if you celebrate it, which is kind of crazy, right? But why I think it's good is because I think we were talking the other day about how I mentioned how what we're seeing in the West is a controlled demolition, right? It's nothing happens by accident, especially all 5 sort of Five Eyes countries suddenly just imploding spontaneously at the same time. That's not a coincidence. It's obviously, there is a controlled demolition of the West, I believe. But I think that could be stopped. I think that could be stopped. Well, yeah. I think people could unite in an instant if all of the sort of silly and artificial ideologies that have been inserted into society in the last decade that people have attached their identity to, and what that has done, it's fractured belief systems. And I think if people could forget about all of this sort of bullshit that's seeped into the culture, right? You guys know all the little things that I'm talking about. And if you can just sort of remember that at the very top, you're all American or Australian or English or whatever, right? If you sort of remember that at the top, that's what you are, that unites, it's something that unites a country. And I think the stuff in Australia in some part has been the reason why, when you think about it, why would why would a country promote ideas that fracture a country's identity? And like that's what's happened in Australia. And I don't think it's as big of a, well, I don't know. At least you guys still have this day that you really seem to unite on. But it does seem like there's been a concerted effort to kind of create these different belief systems, ideologies, and really people attaching their identity to it. And it all starts with politics, right? It's like if you have a whole circle, and this represents like a country's values and morals, right? And it's whole, it's unbroken. The first way to fracture that is to stick a big fork down the middle that says left or right. Okay, so now it's already split down the middle with left and right. And then in each half, you've got like different little ideologies where even people on each side will begin arguing with each other for. And now you have all of these sort of ideas, and now no one's like identifying anymore as just kind of like a, you know, like a Western nation, Christian values. Now suddenly it's like your identity's completely shifted. It's like this like a niche thing that, and anyone who doesn't agree with you is like now the enemy. Divide and conquer. Exactly. And that's why I think these days are great, because it sort of just reminds people that beyond all the bullshit, I think most people do kind of agree and have common ground and do want the same things. But we're conditioned to kind of forget that, unfortunately. We are stronger together. That's right, Larissa. Ape together strong. Wiser words have never been said. Ape together strong. Remember that. Remember that, people. Josh, you'll have to show us on a map where you've been for us Aussies. Yeah, we can do that. I won't pull up the map today. We'll probably get into this game show pretty soon. But absolutely. Yeah, once it's all said and done and we're back on home soil, I'll show you guys the whole trip and where I went and what I did. Team Human. That's right. That's right. Absolutely. The best team. Texas is the best state. You know what? I'm going to say Texas is the most polarizing state so far. I've heard people say it's the best, it's awesome, it's got this and that, and then I've heard people go, it fucking sucks. Whereas most other states, I feel like most people are sort of generally on a bit of a common understanding on like if it's good or not. I wonder why is it like that here? Why do people either seem to hate or love Texas? You seen the pilot who wrote 250th with America map on the flight radar map? I did. Yeah, I did. You posted that in Discord, right? Yeah, that was really cool. He did such a good job. It was crazy. You either love it or you hate it. Yeah, why though? Like I said, everyone seems pretty nice so far, except for all the bullshit at the car rental, but you know, can't really blame the state for that. Utah is beautiful. Agreed. I was only there for a short time, 2 nights in St. George, and I really liked it there. Just had like a good energy. Beautiful scenery. Super clean. People were really nice. And just like the environment aesthetic was just really cool. I'm a Texan in love with Arizona. I live in Sedona a few years growing up. Or you lived in Sedona for a few years growing up. Yeah, I just came from Arizona. I liked it. I would say my favorite place so far though. It's hard to say. I really liked San Francisco for the most part. But there's maybe just like a couple of things I didn't like, but overall I think San Francisco was really fun, had a lot to offer. The weather was a little bit shit, and I liked it because it was really unique. All of the hills had this nice little Italian district. Beautiful day at the baseball, Golden Gate Bridge, Sausalito. Yeah, they had a lot to offer. I thought there were a few things I didn't like. Texas? Did I hear Texas? Sounds like Texas. Well, I can't include that in my scale yet because I only just got here. But give it another week or two. We'll see. I have some relatives in Texas, but they're Jehovah's Witnesses. Nice people, though. Jehovah's Witnesses, that's kind of like Christian extremism. Is that right? Does anyone agree with that? Is being a Jehovah's Witness basically just like being a Christian extremist? San Fran is beautifully set out. Love all the hills. Yeah, it was really nice. Would you consider a quick trip down to Mexico from Texas? I mean, I would. Like, I've been to Mexico before. I would definitely go back. Oh man, I would love to be in Mexico for the England-Mexico game. That would be crazy. But on this trip, won't be happening. But I'm sure I'll be back there one day. Next time, come out to Colorado, have a road trip guide plan that would take you from Colorado, stop at places like NORAD, Roswell, a retired nuke silo, Contact, Area 51, Skinwalker Ranch. Oh, Justin. Talk dirty to me, Justin. Wow. That sounds great, dude. I mean, I'm definitely going to be back. Like that's not even a question. Not sure when, but dude, I'd totally be down to do something like that. 100%. Door-to-door salesman. I don't think like, yes, that is Jehovah's Witnesses, but that's not, they're not extremists because they are door-to-door salesmen. They're extremists because like they will cut off their own kids if they decide to leave the church. And I've spoken to like multiple people who have all had that experience. All people who are like, sort of, I guess like 40s or younger. So like, I would say like it's not necessarily the older generation, but like the newer generation who are, it seems like just more like aware, probably because they grew up more with the internet. And I guess with the internet, you're sort of exposed to more like ideas and belief systems, and you maybe have a bit more of a window into like what life is like outside of the church. And it seems like a lot of younger people have kind of like been like, hang on, I think I've been raised in an extreme Christian cult. And then they leave and they tell their parents, I don't want to be in the church anymore. And their parents cut them off. Don't talk to them again. Do not make contact with them, because that is the rule of Jehovah's Witness. Is like you can't speak to them. They completely shun their family who leave. Yep. I've heard of multiple cases of it, and it's sad. It's super sad. Like I couldn't even imagine that, I mean, look, like my parents were split their whole life, but I still consider myself lucky that they both loved me. And they're not perfect, but like, always had like the love from my parents. So, the thought of wanting to leave the church and your parents cutting you off is like, man, that's tragic. I mean, and I'm sure other people have, lost contact with their parents for other reasons as well. That's just as tragic. But for something that's like, like the concept of like putting this like ideology above your family and blood, especially like mothers who birth their children and then cut them off because they don't want to be a Jehovah's Witness, is insanity. That's genuine insanity, I believe. And the Amish, I don't think the Amish are like that. I think people, well, I could be wrong, but I thought people can choose to leave the Amish way of life, but doesn't mean their parents hate them or anything like that. Mormons are like that too. I can't say I've heard that about Mormons. I've really just heard this about Jehovah's Witnesses. But that being said, I don't know any Amish people. Other than Amish dude who goes on Theo Von's podcast. That's my only understanding of what Amish people are like. That little Amish kid. Scientologists also shun their families. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Scientologists definitely. I mean, they are probably the creepiest and extremist religious group, right? Jehovah's Witness is the same as B'nai B'rith, for anyone who's been down that Rothschild rabbit hole. No, I haven't. I that doesn't ring a bell, I don't think. Sounds interesting, though. Scientology is a legal loony bin. I gotta say, like, I'm interested in Scientology, not trying to become one, but like, I can't help but wonder why some like super rich and wealthy people are like deeply embedded in it. Because like I feel like often these places like prey on vulnerable people or like people who are lacking in their life, people who are missing like a social circle. You know what I mean? Like these like vulnerabilities in people, like these type of cult like groups prey on that. But then you've got like John Travolta, Tom Cruise, and like well-known wealthy people that are like balls deep life members. So like, what the fuck is going on in there? Like, why? The Amish do get shunned for leaving. Okay. Well, I've definitely heard of cases where that hasn't been the case, but which is nice to hear then. But interesting. I didn't know that. Dude, if shit goes down, and society collapses and we need to build a polarity compound, we like people are going to be turning to the Amish. The Amish are going to rule the world because all of us are going to be like in a fetal position shaking because we don't know how to live without electricity and Uber Eats and supermarkets with perfectly packaged food. Meanwhile, the Amish have been doing it all themselves the whole time. So if shit goes down, I would just say start making friends with Amish people now. Start tapping them up, get in touch, just plant some seeds. Probably literally plant some seeds as well. That wouldn't be a bad idea. And get friendly with your local Amish because ain't no one else coming to save you. We need to get some Amish people in the Polarity compound. How do we do that? They obviously don't watch the live stream, do they? They're a self-sufficient community. No shunning at the compound. No shunning at the compound. Absolutely not. Although if you leave, you can't come back. We won't shun you, but if you leave, you can't come back. That's the rule. Got to keep it has to be a little bit culty. I feel like in the end times when everyone becomes a tribe, you probably have to have some cult-like element to survive. Otherwise, you'll just get ran down and ran over and you'll be weak. You know what I mean? That's shunning. No. It's not shunning, Krista. Trust me. It's not shunning. You just can't come back. It doesn't mean we don't like you. It's just like the rule. If you leave, you can't come back. I don't think that's shunning. I don't hate you. Good luck. I wish you all the best. What is the general consensus there? Is this shunning? I don't think it is. Excommunicated. I like that word a bit better, Jen. You'll be excommunicated from the compound. Exiled. Yep. And voluntarily, right? You're voluntarily exiling yourself. All in or out. Exactly, Mark. That's why. Because to protect the tribe, you need everyone's belief to see people united. Their belief systems have to be united, right? If we have someone in there who's, not really in, kind of left, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And it's, you know what I mean? It's just you're going to be like a thorn in the project. This is sounding extremely culty, but it's not a cult. We are focused on survival. It's exactly the same thing. That's their argument too. Yeah, but trust me, Krista, it's different because it's the polarity compound. Okay? Barlified, volunteer explorer. Yeah. I will volunteer them to go and explore. And if the doors are shut when they come back, you can't blame me. All right, let's play a game. Let's test your knowledge. Any other game shows we should add to this? Reminder, I have Jeopardy, Family Feud, and Who Wants to Be Millionaire clones. Oh, dude, Justin, bro, we should talk about that. I would love to talk to you about that because I've played Who Wants to Be a Millionaire sort of style multi-choice games here in the past. but I've sort of done it in my own like janky way. I had the music going, we had the questions, blah blah blah, but it was a bit janky. If we could make a website, okay, look, I'll just riff on this very quickly. I've thought about actually making like somehow getting a game where I can bring someone on to play. Like I can actually have one person sitting opposite me that gets to be quizzed. I feel like something like that would be fun. That could be a fun members thing where like once a week we just pull up like one person to be like in the hot seat or something like that. I don't know. There's some ideas. I'm interested to see what you can come up with, but I think that would be a lot of fun. Anyway, let's play a game. So for anyone who's just tuned in, welcome, first of all. We're going to be playing, okay, you've already seen the first question there. Bit of an easy one to start. You're going to see a question, and basically the first person to answer is the winner. We're not keeping score today. It's just if someone in the chat wants to keep score and regularly copy paste the scores for everyone to see, that would be awesome. But there's no pressure to do that. We're just going to try and pump these out and see how we go. So a nice easy one here as a little tester. Okay. So who, by the way, this is your chance, refresh your stream because if you're a little bit behind and you're trying to answer the question, you're going to get frustrated because you're not live and you're going to be wondering, why does everyone keep beating you? It's because you haven't refreshed. Okay. So refresh now, make sure you're all good. Close down your tube sites, whatever you're downloading. Okay. We need all the bandwidth you can get here. So here we go. A little test run. Who was the principal author of the Declaration of Independence? Okay, I would expect most people to get this one. The answer, as you can see there, is Thomas Jefferson. Okay, so once we get the answer, I'll click again, and you're going to get the next question straight away. So here we go. Who was the... No. On what date was the Declaration of Independence officially adopted by the Continental Congress? Starting easy here. We're going to ease our way into this. Jen refreshed and then she got ads. Unlucky. YouTube premium users will excel. YouTube premium users will excel at this one. Now, the answer to this was, of course, a bit of a trick question. July 4th, 1776. Congratulations to Jackie Dean, who got the full correct answer first there. Well done. Next question. On what date did most delegates actually sign the Declaration of Independence? These are gonna range in difficulty. I don't know if it's gonna be a linear spectrum of continually getting harder, or if it's gonna kind of jumble up and mix it up, some hard, some easy. I'm not sure. A couple of people saying July 2nd, July 3rd, 4th, July 1st. All right, let's have a look. August the 2nd, the hairy hominid was the closest there with August 4th. I don't think anyone else got that one. Yep, there we go. John Anthony came in a little bit late, but let's go to the next one. The first military engagement of the American Revolution took place at blank in April 1775. What is blank? The first military engagement of the American Revolution. What is blank? April 1775. Again, I don't have a timer on the screen, but, I'll let it run for like 20 seconds. We've got 70 questions to get through, so. Ask Texas questions. This is America-wide. This is America-wide. Not just Texas. All right, the answer is Lexington and Concord. DTP, yep, nice one. I think the first person to say Lexington or anything close. Well done. Again, see, I'm learning here. I didn't know this. And it sounds like a lot of you guys didn't know this either. Next question. Which 1783 agreement officially ended the American Revolutionary War? So it sounds like you need the name of the agreement. Assassin's Creed 3 lore. When I get home, I'm actually thinking about doing a playthrough of some Assassin's Creed because apparently it's like a maybe a bit of a history lesson in a few of those games. Alternative history lesson. I'm learning too. Amazing. We're all learning here. And we're going to find out who the smart ones are, who paid attention in school. Oh. The answer is the Treaty of Paris. Brad, I feel like you might have Googled that one, Brad. Did you Google that? You can be honest. I'm not going to punish you. Let me know if you Googled it. That's okay. Doesn't seem like anyone had an answer anyway. Next one. He says, no, sir. All right, Brad, I'll take your word for it. You are a bit of a trivia shark. You have dominated trivia games in the past, so I'll take your word for it. Who served as the commander of the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War? The commander of the Continental Army, the Revolutionary War. You remember me from last trivia? Yes, sir, of course. Of course, you were dominating. And the answers come flying in. George Washington. Yeah, well done, everyone. A lot of people got that one. Cult Leader says Rob. No, it wasn't Rob. It was George. Close. Close, though. The 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States, spanning 1776 to 2026, is known by what term? I think I know this one. It's one of my favorite terms, if I'm right. Do you guys know what this one is? Few answers flooding in. No one guessing what I have been thinking. Let's flip the card and take a look. No, I was talking to Brad. No, you weren't. You thought it was Rob. Oh, okay. This is definitely not what I thought. Semi-quincentennial. Jen said bicentennial. You're sort of on the right line of thinking there. Quad millennial. Yep. Don't think anyone got that one, but there we go. The 250th. No, we've done that. In the context of the 250th anniversary, what is Freedom 250? That's a bit of a tough question. So Freedom 250 was what I thought the last answer was. Never heard of that word before in my life. Me either. Me either. Fake news? It could be. It could be. All right, let's flip this one. A public... okay. I wouldn't expect anyone to be getting long answers like this. But it doesn't really seem like anyone was close anyway. Let's keep rolling. We got plenty to get through. There might be a few bung ones here. Taz says George Washington. I think you need to refresh the stream, Taz. She'll hear that in 10 minutes. Which US city hosted the first organizing meeting of this semi-quincentennial commission in 2018? Which US city? Krista says Boston. Philadelphia. DC. Few people saying Philly. Very good. Did you guys know that? Are people Googling? I'm not gonna punish you. I feel like ultimately, if someone actually knows the answer, they're always going to be quicker than someone who's Googling it. So, you know. Let's go to the next one. You assumed? Why is that? Is Philly a significant city in some ways? What is the primary objective of the Rededicate 250 signature event? Not Googling, you're on your phone. Okay. What is the primary objective of the Rededicate 250? Bro, these questions are so hard. There's meant to be some easy ones in here as well. Come on, guys. This is your country. This is your country. You need to brush up on your knowledge. These are hard. Okay, no one's got an answer for this one. Okay. The long answers do suck. I will say that. I'll let you guys off. Okay, here we go. We've got a one-word answer here. This is what we want. The 1993 release of the graphical web browser popularized web surfing and founded the modern internet economy. I think I know the answer to this one. Yep, seems like, yep, sir, Brad, yep, we're on the same line of thinking here. Let's flip it and take a look. I was thinking Netscape as well. Damn. NCSA Mosaic, is that... Can we figure out what this is? NCSA, is it Netscape? Or is this some kind of predecessor that no one actually knew about? Womp womp. NCSA. Never heard of it. Mosaic sounds pretty tiny hatty. Anagram, maybe? Yeah. Can someone Google what NCSA is and let me know? Because I want to take that W. In what year did the Global Positioning System, GPS, reach full operational capability? This is just a bit more of a general trivia thing. I think anyone could know this. What year did the GPS reach full operational capability? I mean, is that in like the military or in the public realm? I'm gonna say like mid 90s. Cult Leader says 1938. NCSA Mosaic is a discontinued web browser that was instrumental in popularizing the World Wide Web and the general internet during the 1990s. There you go. All right. The answer here is 9. Thank you, people. I'll take the W for that one. Yep. You can't get more mid-90s than 1995. Thank you. I mean, I didn't say it exactly, but, you know, no one else said 1995, so I'll be taking the W on that one. Thank you. What 2007 invention by Apple combined mobile telephony, internet access, and multimedia into a touchscreen device? Okay, I think we all know the answer to this one. Justin got in first there with the iPhone. Yes, very good. Very good. Most of you are probably watching on one right now. Developed in 2012, blank technology allows for the precise modification of DNA sequences in living organisms. Developed in 2012. Wow. What you mean the year that apparently the Looking Glass can't see a different timeline after? The year that we figured out how to modify DNA sequences is the same year that the Looking Glass can't figure out a different timeline? Wow. I wonder if that's connected. A lot of people saying CRISPR. That was the first thing that came to my mind. Yep, CRISPR-Cas9. Very good, everyone. You're all professional conspiracy theorists. I love it. Well done. I'm proud of you all. Which private American company successfully landed the reusable Falcon 9 rocket in 2015? I think you all know this one too. See, I told you there would be some easier ones in here. Brad, he's quick, Brad. You know it's going to be a tough game of trivia when Brad's in the house. The man shoots from the hip, and he rarely misses. SpaceX. Very good, everyone. Very good. The 2020 FDA emergency authorization of the vaccine leveraged mRNA technology to provide immunity against COVID-19. Really? Did it really? Did it really? The 2020 FDA emergency authorization of the what vaccine? A lot of people saying COVID. Moderna. Come on, guys. Don't you know the latest Bill Gates concoction to inject nanotechnology into you? You don't even know what you're injecting into you. Pfizer or just COVID? Moderna from memory, right? Moderna was, what was the other one? There was another one. Moderna and everyone was like, the other one gives you blood clots, and then it just turned out like they both kind of kill you. Pfizer. Yeah. I know AstraZeneca. Yes. Yep. Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and Moderna. Which GOI syrup would you like to inject? They all kill you. It's like the illusion of choice, right? But if you don't want the AstraZeneca, fine, you can take the Pfizer. They both give you blood clots anyway. Fantastic. Thanks for that. How many utility patents had the US Patent and Trademark Office issued by the year 2024? Jesus. Does anyone actually know the answer to this? That's a very... Does anyone count the patents? Any patent counters in the chat? Anyone checking the patent count regularly? Oh, you guys don't? You guys aren't regularly checking the amount of patents the US Trademark Office has issued? That's crazy. Man, you guys are sleeping or something. It's obviously 12 million. You guys didn't know it was 12. Not bad, Brad. Brad was actually kind of close. There we go. 12 million. Now you know. Now you can tell your friends. What the hell? Term soft power. Is that even a question? Is it meant to be like, what does soft power mean? I mean, that's how oh, there we go. Yes, it was. Definition: the ability of a nation to influence others through culture, values, and ideas rather than military force. Wow. Isn't that interesting, huh? The ability of a nation to influence others through culture, values, and ideas. This is how a nation gets destroyed from within. This is what's happening to the West. Somehow, our media is corrupting the values and the ideas and the influence. And then you don't have to take over a nation or destroy them. They just destroy themselves because no one agrees with anything. What's it called? Soft power. We're being soft powered. During the Cold War, which two American consumer items were most desired by youth in the Soviet Union? Now, everyone should know the answer to this, okay? If you don't know the consumer items that the youth of the Soviet Union desired most during the Cold War, you just weren't paying attention in school. Weed, blue jeans, Marlboro and Budweiser. Here we go. Blue jeans, DTP. Missed out the rock and roll, but I'll give it to you. Well done. In which city and year was the game of baseball first codified? Ooh, interesting. I'm going to say, oh man, I got no idea. It's a great question though. 1942, I reckon it was earlier than that. I was thinking like mid 1800s maybe. Chicago, 1893. Okay, interesting, sir. Justin says New York. I was thinking New York, somewhere around there, mid 1800s, but it's really just a guess. Let's have a look. Come on, people. New York, mid 1800s. There we go. And it was almost 100 years later that the aliens crashed in Roswell. The influence of Black American musical roots and music television, MTV, is evident in global subgenres of Disclosure award goes to Josh. Thank you very much. I'll just take like a pass. I'll take an American passport. I'll take that, like a citizenship. That would be fantastic. Polka, hip hop, rap, R&B, jazz, blues, hip hoppity hip hop, rap and hip hop. There we go. Well done. Which popular sport now played globally is described as a modern American invented activity? Which popular sport now played globally? Basketball? Described as a modern American invented activity. I'm going to say basketball. Thurp says basketball too. Larissa says football, baseball, pickleball. Yeah, pickleball is actually not a bad shout. I'm going to stay with basketball though. There we go. Yeah, pickleball's really it's the new craze. All the kids are playing it. Patrick Henry's famous 1775 address delivered at St. John's Church concluded with which iconic phrase? I'm out on this one. I got no idea. Pre-looked? You think I pre-looked? I see the answer when you guys see it. I can't see the answers. I looked at like the first 10 questions when I made these, but that's it. I haven't seen any of these and I don't know the answer. Give me freedom or give me death. Did someone say that? That's badass. Something about liberty. I had a dream. All right, let's have a look. There it is. Give me liberty or give me death, Brad. Damn, that's a boss statement to make. Love that. Which three natural rights are specifically enumerated in the preamble of the Declaration of Independence? Which three natural rights are specifically enumerated in the preamble of the Declaration of Independence? He said Texas is the best state for real. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Damn, yeah. Hairy Hominid, Serp, Justin, Brad. A lot of you guys got in on that one. Yeah, they're all rolling in now. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Beautiful stuff. How many specific grievances against King George III are listed in the Declaration of Independence? How many specific grievances? While you guys are answering that one, Toxic Bart says, Hal Putoff. Thank you, Toxic. And Awaken, Not Awoke. Welcome back, you little freak. Thank you for becoming a member. 13, 30, 12, 13. All right, let's have a look. 27. No one got that one. I can't believe you guys don't even count King George III's grievances. It's honestly just un-American of you guys. During the Battle of Trenton in 1776, American troops captured nearly 1,000 what? Mercenaries hired by the British. What is the blank? During the Battle of Trenton, American troops captured nearly 1,000 what mercenaries? Brad says Hessian. Is that Hesh? Am I saying that correctly? Native American, French, Thai, Native. Let's have a look. Hessian. Brad, you're an encyclopedia of knowledge, my friend. Well done. The collection of 85 essays written to support the ratification of the U.S. Constitution is known as what? Fun fact, the writer in the legend of Sleepy Hollow was a Hessian soldier. There we go. Serp dropping a little bit of general knowledge for us on the 4th of July. Gotta love it. Brad and Krista both say the Bill of Rights. A couple of Hairy Hominid DTP says the Articles of Confederation. Let's have a look. The Federalist Papers. No one got that word for word, though I think Hairy Hominid DTP were maybe the closest. The Federalist Papers. I've never heard of that. Which 1991 event signaled the end of the Cold War and left the US as the world's sole superpower? Which 1991 event signaled the end of the Cold War? I don't even know if I know this one. Oh, a few people coming in now. Or everyone's coming in saying the Berlin Wall. Interesting. Yep. I mean, when everyone says the same answer, the dissolution of the Soviet Union. Jackie, well done. I think you said that. Oh no, Draco said that first. Yep. Damn, everyone was all, you guys sold me. I thought it must have been the Berlin Wall too by how many people said it, but it was a dissolution of the Soviet Union. Maybe those things were, oh no. The pigeons are flooding the chat. I think we're back though. Can I get a yes, we're back? Just to make sure. It's so funny. I don't even realize that the stream is down until I just see pigeons flooding the chat. And then I'm like, okay, something is wrong. And then I checked and I had literally 0 bit rate. But we're back. We're not on cable. We're not wired into the modem here. We're using the Wi-Fi, but the internet connection is good. So I think we'll be able to ride this out. Let's keep going. Next question. Who was elected president of the United States in 1992, marking a Democratic return to the White House? I think I know this one. May be a reptilian. People have accused him of being one. Yep. I think I'm right. And I am. Bill Clinton, potential reptile, as most of them are. In 1994, which political party won control of the US Congress for the first time in 40 years? Which political party won control of the US Congress in 1994? First time in 40 years. DTP says Republican. Brad says Democrat. Damn. It's split down the middle. Let's take a look. It was the Republican Party. Well done. The enthusiasm for high technology industries in the 1990s ended when the NASDAQ crashed due to the... What caused the NASDAQ to crash in the 1990s that killed the enthusiasm for high-tech industries? Draco says tech bubble. Jen says housing market. Serp says Enron, internet bubble, .com bubble. Take a look. The .com bubble. Well done. Well done. Which 2001 event led to the United States to initiate the war on terror? Which 2001 event led to the United States to initiate the war on terror? I think we all know this one. Yep. And the follow-up question should be, who benefited from that? Who benefited from the United States getting involved in the war on terror? I don't think that'll be the next question, but it should be. The first commercially successful robotic vacuum cleaner released by iRobot in 2002 is the what? The first commercially successful robotic vacuum cleaner released by iRobot in 2002. Roomba? Big Yahoo? Could you imagine? Could you imagine if they made a Netanyahu vacuum cleaner and it's just a robotic Netanyahu that just wheels around your house sweeping up? And they called it the Big Yahoo 5000? And he just has like random little vocal stims that he says, like little vocal things, like we made a bigger mess in Gaza, while he's like cleaning up your kitchen floor. Okay, the answer is Roomba. Well done, everyone. You guys know your electronic vacuums. Launched in 2004, what was initially created as an exclusive directory for college students before becoming a global social network? Brad is just laser pointed on this one. The man has the best ping in the world, I think. Or he's just incredible, or he's an AI. Or both. I think the answer is Facebook. And there we go. Yeah. Shout out to Mark Zuckerberg, also a lizard. Also potentially a lizard. A little bit harder to identify after his 2019 software update, where he blended into humanity a little bit more with his tall tees and his necklace and his jiu-jitsu belt. But prior to that, absolute lizard, no doubt about it. Which IBM AI system became a Jeopardy champion in 2011 by processing unstructured data from 1 million books? Which AI system became a Jeopardy champion in 2011? Damn, that's kind of crazy. In 2011, they had an AI system winning Jeopardy. So I'm assuming this is just like an LLM, right? Processing unstructured data from 1 million books. That's basically what like ChatGPT does, right? It just ingests millions of the internet's pages and just filters all the data when you query it. Deep Blue, ChatGPT. I mean, I don't know. Watson walked so ChatGPT could run. There we go. Shout out to Watson. The 2013 virtual reality headset prototype that raised $2.4 million through crowdfunding is the what? Never heard of it? Me either, Jackie. Me either. I think I have a guess for this one. I'm going to say it is the... Yeah, I agree with Justin. I was thinking Meta at the beginning, but then I think it's Oculus. Yep, there we go. It's the Oculus Rift. Well done. Which 4 cities were designated as leading cities for the US semi-quincentennial by federal legislation? I'm half convinced that this AI has just made this word up. Semi-quincentennial. No one is using that word ever. Why would they say that when they could just say Freedom 250? The 4 cities are... Okay, I wanted to let one person have a guess first. Jen says New York City, San Diego, DC, and Philly. Jackie says Dallas, Philly, DC, Washington, New York, LA, Chicago. Let's have a look. Boston, Philly, New York, and Charleston. There we go. A couple of you got a few right. No one got the whole set. What is the name of the nationwide communal meal event scheduled for July 5th, 2026? I don't know this one. I feel like the Americans will, though. Oh, wait. Maybe, no, I think I do know. Wait, no, I don't. People are just calling on Brad in the chat. Brad, what's the answer? Draco says leftovers. Hamburger and taco day. Okay, no one knows. Bro, these are like deep Fox News lore. What do you mean? How is this Fox News? If it's a nationwide communal meal event. It's called America's Potluck. You guys don't even participate in America's Potluck? What kind of American are you if you're not eating potluck on July 5th? This isn't a thing that I'm aware of. Has anyone ever heard of potluck before? Who the fuck made this up? All right, I'll have to get back to management about this. We'll put in a complaint about this one. Moving forward. Which branch of the military held a 250th anniversary parade on June 14th, 2025 to kick off the national celebrations? Anyone heard about this one? Which branch of the military held a 250th anniversary parade last year? Justin says US Army. Brad says the Marines. Build says Air Force. We've basically got the whole set here. Anyone want to throw in Space Force? The answer is the United States Army. Well done. Well done, Justin. I think he was... Oh, no. Yeah, it was Justin who got that one first. Well done. In 2025, the US Mint faced controversy for removing commemorative coin designs that celebrated which historical movements? 2025, the US Mint faced controversy for removing commemorative coins that celebrated which historical movements? BLM, civil rights, moon landing. A native one, civil rights, slavery, black history. Abolition, women's suffrage, and the civil rights movement. There we go. Had a couple of commemorative coins rolling by the sounds of it. The Pathway of the Patriots project involves planting 250 trees along which geographic location? I feel like maybe the clue to this answer could be in the name. Pathway of the Patriots has a project involving planting 250 trees along which geographic location? Lincoln Memorial, says Jen. Mark says the desert. RV says DC, Arlington. Let's take a look. Oh, it's obviously the Schuylkill River Trail, guys. You haven't been down to the Schuylkill River Trail? You guys are the most un-American group of people I've ever spoken to. You're not even planting trees at the Schuylkill River Trail on the 4th of July. Go and take a look at yourself in the mirror. Which 1926 exposition in Philadelphia marked the 150th anniversary of American independence? Schuylkill is how it's pronounced. Schuylkill? Really? In America, you're going to call a river the Schuylkill River? Man, you guys really don't care, huh? You guys will just call a place the Schuylkill River. That's crazy. The World's Fair? Liberty Bell. It's this this AI might be making up names, okay? I just want to say that and I want to apologize in advance. Who were the primary authors of the Federalist Papers? Okay, going back to a previous question. These are liar words. Look, I take no responsibility, okay? Josh, that word is a psyop. I agree, Larissa. I agree with you. I'm part of this. I'm a victim. Who are the primary authors of the Federalist Papers? DTP says Ben Frankie's, Dr. Zeus, Ben Franklin, Madison Hamilton, Jefferson, Washington, and Dexter, Jefferson and Jackson. The answer is Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison. You're quite close, Krista. Madison Hamilton. Just missing John Jay. That was a tough one, guys. Good effort. Well done. I need to go blow my nose in a second. Here, I'm going to leave this one up on screen. I just need to go to the bathroom really quick, and then I'll be back and we'll keep playing. Give me 1 second. Okay. Have you guys been behaving yourselves? Have you been behaving yourself while I've been gone? Where the fuck are the purple lights? Mark, it's daytime, bro. It's daytime, and I don't have the luxury of blinds like I did back home. That's why it always seemed like it was nighttime when I was streaming in Australia, because I had blinds. It was a bit of a trick. I could play on you guys. They don't work as well in the day, unfortunately. We heard everything. Fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration is also being celebrated alongside which major international sporting event in 2026? The answer to that is obviously the FIFA World Cup, which my country sadly just got sent home by the Egyptians. Sneaky little Egyptians. The VA 250 Mobile Museum aims to center the history of who stewarded the land long before the Declaration of Independence. Does anyone know their VA 250 Mobile Museum lore? Because this is your chance. This is your chance. Mamouche, Mexicans, the Native Americans, the natives, the pilgrims. War? The answer is tribal nations. We'll take Native Americans. Yep, we'll take the natives on that one. Absolutely. Well done, everyone. Few people got that. The Washington Monument projection show for the 250th anniversary depicts which 5 eras of American history? 5 eras of American history. I guess you need to give 5 answers. I was saying Mamouche because he plays for Egypt, not that it was my answer for that. Hey, RV, it's okay. We all get the answers wrong sometimes. You don't have to make up excuses. It's okay. Everyone gets a couple wrong sometimes. It's okay. The answer is discovery, independence, westward expansion, industrial revolution, and innovation. Draco suggested it could be genocide, tax theft, stock market collapse, wasting tea, and idiocracy. You know, I think you could be onto something there, Draco. I think you could be onto something. That was a hard one. Which historical figure's AI-powered portrait greets visitors at the Freedom 250 Founders Museum? Well, I'm assuming most people probably haven't been there. I don't know. I could be wrong. Jen says Franklin. Jackie says Truman. How the fuck would we know? Well, you should be visiting. If you're a proud American, you should be paying an annual visit to the Freedom 250 Founders Museum, I think. It's un-American if you don't. The answer is obviously George Washington, guys. Come on. Come on. According to the Declaration of Independence, from what source do governments derive their just powers? Here we go. Here we go. Yep. That's it. Keep it coming. Jackie says the people. Larissa says the people. Jen says God. Draco says people. John says the people. Cult leader says firearms. I mean, that could work too. They do help. I think they do help. The answer is the consent of the governed, aka the people. Very good. And you know what? I think the firearms, they help. The firearms just help reinforce that. The Lee Resolution, which proposed the independence of the United Colonies, was passed on which date? Okay, this is a tough one. I'll take year. AKA firearms. You know, it's kind of true. It is kind of true. It couldn't have worded that any creepier. Build says biquincentennial. Look, it probably is going to be something like that. Let's be honest. Couple of years rolling in now. 74, 67, 76. Let's take a look. July 2nd, 1776. Well done, Brad. Who else? Who else? Which two founding fathers and former US presidents both died on July 4th, 1826? Wow, that's interesting. That two founding fathers who were presidents, or is it two founding fathers and two? I don't know. That's crazy. They died in July. Two of them have died on July 4th. That's very crazy. Adams and Jefferson, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. Well done. Well done. Here we go. The term bicenquinquagenary. The term bicenquinquagenary is a Latin-derived synonym for which 250th anniversary term? I think this AI could be gaslighting us and making things up. Latin maxing, apparently. Someone's been Latin maxing. We're just going to get the answer for this one. Of course, it's semi-quincentennial. The term bicenquinquagenary is a Latin-derived synonym for semi-quincentennial. How about we just fuck both of those words off and use normal words? In 2001, Apple introduced the digital music player capable of storing up to 1,000 songs on a 5 gigabyte hard drive. God, that was the time, wasn't it? When you had to get your music onto your little MP3. And like, I remember that felt like an upgrade. You know what I mean? I used to have a Walkman with the discs, and like you'd have to bring discs with you if you just wanted to walk to school and listen to music. The answer is, of course, the iPod. Very good. The self-balancing personal transporter unveiled by Dean Kamen in 2001 is the what? I have no idea. I had a Zune or something like that. Yeah, I remember those. A Walkman has cassettes. A Discman has CDs. Interesting. I always called mine a Walkman, but it was a CD player. I do remember the term Discman, though. I just thought they were interchangeable. Hoverboard. I wish. Segway, electric bike. It is the Segway. Very good. Draco, Brad, John. Very good. Which online encyclopedia launched in 2001 was designed to democratize access to information through collaborative editing? Oh, I think I know. This is everyone's favorite website. This is the Arbiter of Truth. The website that's totally not compromised and sanitizes certain information from the internet. Where's my hoverboard? Hey, I'm waiting too, Mickey. This is not the future I was promised. Okay? I'm waiting too. The answer is, of course, Wikipedia. Again, the Arbiter of Truth. The 2010 tablet company that bridged the gap between smartphone portability and laptop functionality is the what? Tablet. Sorry, the tablet computer. Did I say computer? I think I said company. Josh, you're noticing too loud. I mean, how can you not notice? I feel like if you don't notice now, you're either compromised or just ignorant. And it's not people's fault that they're ignorant, by the way. That's like society's designed to keep you ignorant. But like, there probably comes a time where you sort of become ignorant by choice. And I know people who are ignorant by choice. I know that they get it, but they don't want to talk about it. I don't like that. I feel like I'm compromising my own integrity by feeling a certain way and not being honest about it. And I feel like that's worth more than like any sort of thing. You know what I mean? When you don't speak how you actually feel, I think you carry this like weird energy because you're lying to yourself. iPad. There we go. I think most of us would have gotten that one. The 2026 Freedom 250 Grand Prix is an Indy car race scheduled to take place across which DC landmark? Your soul dies a little bit every time you do that? Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, saying soul dies sounds very extreme, but I agree with what you're saying. Like it does. I can't really think of a better way to explain it, but like, yeah, when you're, when shit's going on and you don't speak how you feel and you just kind of go along with it, even though you know it's wrong, I do think that does affect you in some way that's hard to explain, but doesn't make you feel good. White House, Washington Monument. That's so tacky. Doing the Grand Prix. Wait, even tackier than beating the shit out of each other in front of the White House? Do you think this is tackier than that? The National Mall is where the Freedom 250 Grand Prix will be. Racing across monuments to dead soldiers is so tacky. Yeah, I mean, I get it. No, UFC on the White House lawn was peak tacky. Yeah, I think so too. National Mall. Yeah, you guys don't know the National Mall? Come on. Which nonprofit organization was designated in 2018 as the Secretariat to the U.S. Semi-Quincentennial Commission? Can someone Google if this is even real? I've never heard of the U.S. Semi-Quincentennial Commission. The American Battlefield Trust. Jen says RO. USAID. Next one. Which founding document was described by Federalists as having a lack of national coordination that required a replacement? Which founding document was described by Federalists as having a lack of national coordination? Constitution? Magna Carta, Article of Confederation? The answer is the Article of Confederation. Well done, Jesse. Serp. Awake. Well done. Brad got in a bit late. We'll give it to him. Which American hero, categorized as a freedom fighter, is featured on the hero wall of the Freedom 250 Museum? Now, again, see, this is why you guys need to be visiting the Freedom 250 Museum, okay? I would expect most patriotic Americans would be visiting the Freedom 250 Museum at least once a year. It's like a rite of passage. The Constitution was written because the Articles the Confederation failed. They later added the Bill of Rights so all the states would sign on. There we go. Thank you for that little knowledge bomb. Fauci, Trump, Netanyahu, Superman. I mean, if it's not the greatest American hero of them all, Netanyahu, I don't know who it could be. It's Rosa Parks. Ugh. Close one, though, John. I think you were close. Which literary giant is included on the Freedom to... Okay. I wish there was less Freedom 250 Museum questions, but here we are. Which literary giant is included on the Freedom 250 Museum's wall of 50 American heroes? Literary giant. Shakespeare. Nice one, Jen. Any other answers coming in for this one? ETP says she'd never fired a gun in her life. I feel like you shouldn't even be able to get in that museum if you've never fired a gun. MLK, Stephen King, Mark Twain, Hemingway. Mark Twain. Well done, Jen. Although that wasn't your first answer. You might have Googled that one. Don't know. Brad got it as well. Good job. All right, let's keep going. We have 10 questions left. In the early 21st century, American creativity was propelled globally by the mass distribution of which 4 media formats? '21st century American creativity was propelled globally by the mass distribution of which 4 media formats? 4 early 21st century media formats. TV, radio, psyops, and war. That's a good little grouping there. Beef jerky, adrenochrome, snuff films, and spirit cooking. VHS, CD, DVD, cassette. I'm going to say television, like internet, radio, and I don't know. Music? Film, television, music, and comic books. There we go. I mean, film and television, kind of the same thing. The Salute to America 250 celebration is characterized by a task force operating under which leader? Salute to America 250. Never heard of it. A bit pedantic. It was a little bit. It was. Space Force, Trump, Maduro. Donald Trump, if I had to guess. Orange idiot. All right. The answer is the President of the United States, also known as Donald Trump. Not the most popular man. Quite polarizing. What was the specific result of the 1776 attack on Hessian soldiers at Trenton? What was the specific result of the 1776 attack on Hessian soldiers at Trenton? Death. Dead soldiers. They died. Surrender by the British. Unalived. Treaty. The answer is the specific result of the 1776 attack on Hessian soldiers at Trenton was American troops gained the confidence needed to keep fighting after previous demoralizing defeats. Come on, guys. You don't realize that was the morale booster. Okay? It was a morale boost. That was the direct result. Come on. No one got that. I'm disappointed. The 250th anniversary is officially defined as commemorating the founding of the US between which 2 years? Which 2 years? I don't think AI understands trivia. 1776 to 2026. 1774 to 1776. I think Brad might be on the money there. Draco says 75 to 77. 82 to 83 from DTP. The answer is 1776 to 2026. The clue was in the question, but I get the confusion. What is the primary role of the National Park Service in the 2026 celebrations? Look, I will admit, not all of these questions are great, but I didn't have the time to check all 70 of them. Damn edibles. Yeah, I would blame the edibles. It's definitely not the poor AI selective questions. It's the edibles that you're eating. Absolutely. Larissa says to hide portals, not encourage bear selfies, fire watch, watch for forest fires. The answer is to steward and provide education at America's most sacred historical places associated with the founding. Guys, I can't believe no one answered that word for word. It was an obvious one, to provide education at America's most sacred historical places associated with the founding. Come on. The 12 millionth utility patent was issued to which company in the 2024? Again, I love that this has got a bit of foreshadowing in it. Okay, we found out that there have been 12 million patents collected, and those who have been counting the patents would know that. But what company did that 12 millionth patent go to? SpaceX, EG&G, Lockheed, Palantir, Shakeweight, Apple. The answer is Pacific Biosciences. We all get our fresh produce and tech and everything at Pacific Biosciences. In 2026, the National Endowment for the Arts will hold regional festivals for which subject in partnership with the Smithsonian? The National Endowment for the Arts will hold regional festivals for which subject? Which subject? And it's in partnership with the Smithsonian. The Hybrid Cloning Front, the Nephilim, Ancient Technologies, Suppressing the Truth, Hiding the Real Artifacts, Keeping Bigfoot in Check, American Folklife. I don't think even any of those answers were really close, but that's okay. We've got 3 more. Which historical document proclaimed that all men are created equal? Which historical document proclaimed that all men are created equal? Of course, except those who were created in a hybrid breeding program laboratory. They may not be created equal. But I don't know if the Declaration of Independence had a little caveat about hybrid alien breeding programs. And that's the loophole, guys. That's why these people feel like they have a right to rule, because they're exempt, because they were created in a lab. Palm Beach Pete isn't equal. That's right, because Palm Beach Pete is a CIA clone baby used to swap out bodies with Jeffrey Epstein. Thank you for coming. We have 2 questions left. Which 18th century group opposed a robust central authority and favored states' Which 18th century group opposed a robust central authority and favored states' rights over a strong federal government? I'm going to keep saying the Bill of Rights. I will eventually be right. You got to get one eventually. There's only one more after this. Confederate States of America, Black Panthers, Democratic Republicans, Confederation. The answer is anti-federalists. Which, could you say an anti-federalist? I feel like that's being a bit pedantic. Someone used that word before and I lost it. Being a bit pedantic. Okay, last question. What event on October 19, 1781 essentially secured the American victory before the Treaty of Paris? Before the Treaty of Paris, what event that occurred on October 19th, 1781, secured the victory? This is for all the chocolates, people. This is the last question. Battle of Valley Forge, Treaty of Versailles. Oh God, I'm butchering it. Boston Tea Party, Yorktown, Turkey Hill, Treaty of Versailles was World War One. The answer is the surrender of Cornwallis at Yorktown, which Krista got. Well done, Krista. Krista, you actually did very well. Krista, by the way, is not American. She's Australian. And you actually had quite a few good answers in that one. Well done, Krista. I think we should give Krista a round of applause and maybe even a citizenship. I think that would be a great award for this. I'll take one as well. And we'll get one for Krista. We'll get her a passport printed. Fantastic. Guys, I hope you had fun with that. It was that's what it was meant to be, just for a bit of fun, nothing serious, a little bit of a laugh. Wanted to touch base with you guys today and wish you all a happy 4th of July. And I hope you enjoy celebrating with your friends and your family. Like I said, I'm going to go head out now. I'm going to go get myself a cowboy hat and some boots, possibly. And then I'm going to go down to, there's like a park here in Houston where they're playing music all day, food trucks, beers. I think the World Cup is going to be on outside. And then the fireworks is going to be on at night. So it's going to be a long day. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know if I'm probably not going to be vlogging it or anything like that, but I'm going to go enjoy it and just be in the moment and have a great time. So guys, thank you for hanging out again. I hope you had fun. I appreciate all of the support. Not sure when we'll be live next. I'll do my best, but just keep an eye on the Discord and whatnot, and you'll find out when it's happening. So be good, be kind, enjoy your day. Happy 4th of July, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.
Eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.